the packaging is nice. That's about all I can say. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be playing around with a bunch of new makeup. I actually already did my intro like before I put my makeup on, but parts of this makeup routine like straight up went left, especially when I got to the eyeshadow. You'll see me struggle a little bit with the under eye concealer and the eyeshadow, so that's why I'm doing the intro again so that you can see the finished look before I go into it. But anyway, most of this stuff is from a recent Ulta haul that just came in the mail a couple days ago, and then I have a few other things that I purchased around Christmas time last year and just never bothered to test them out. And then I have a few things that are not new, so I'll definitely tell you like what's new and not new as I go through them. So let's jump right into the video so y'all can see what I had to deal with today. So in case you're new here, I go back and forth between primer. I usually don't wear primer, and because I'm trying out a new foundation today, I feel like I definitely don't want to use primer today, just because on most days when I wear foundation, I don't wear primer, so that's how I'm going to try this foundation out. But I'm very excited about this. This is the new Milani Screen Queen foundation, and I decided to pick up the shade 470. So let me shake up the bottle. I always shake up brand new foundation really well just to get all the ingredients flowing together. So when this foundation first came out, I was just excited about the shade range because the other popular Milani foundation, they don't have a shade for me. So like I said, I picked up the shade 470 in this one, and I'm just happy that I think they have a shade that I can use. So I'm just gonna do a little swatch as soon as I can get this stuff to pump out. I'm gonna do a little swatch on my, oh my goodness. I had to pump that like 50 times for it to come out. Okay, so looking at it on my finger, now I'm not too sure about it. To me, it looks different on my finger than it does in the bottle. Let me know what y'all think. But I'm still just gonna swatch this. Okay, it actually doesn't look that bad in the swatch. All right, I feel like I can work with this. And this is the only new foundation I have anyway, so we're just gonna have to deal with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump this out. I feel like this pump is like, I don't know if it's defective or what, but it's like hard to pump the product out. So I feel like with the consistency of this, I'm actually gonna use a sponge. I was gonna use a brush, but I'm gonna go in with my Sonia Kashuk sponge. So I normally blend out like thinner consistency foundations. I'll blend them out with a brush, and then thicker ones I'll blend out with a sponge. Okay, so what are we thinking? It doesn't look bad. I actually think it's an okay shade match. So I kind of diverted away from what I was trying to tell y'all earlier. I was excited that Milani had a foundation in my shade, and it wasn't until like way after that this foundation came out that I realized that the purpose of it was to give you a digital blue light filter on your face. So it's supposed to kind of like protect your skin if you're like in front of a screen, a computer screen, a phone screen all day. So that's why they call it Screen Queen foundation. So I don't know, is a digital blue light filter, is it necessary in makeup, or is this just another fad that we're gonna start seeing in a lot of products? I don't know. But like I said, I was just happy that they had a shade that I could use. Okay, so this is one layer of the foundation, and this is supposed to give you a luminous, natural skin finish, buildable light to medium coverage. Okay, for some reason I thought this was supposed to be medium to full coverage, but it definitely is light to medium. I feel like this is the level of coverage that I would normally go for, but just for the sake of the video, let's see if it does build up. So I'm gonna put maybe like a half a pump on both sides of my cheek. Yeah, and I feel like it is buildable, but I could tell like even after the first layer of foundation that this definitely won't give you full coverage. So if that's what you're looking for, this is definitely not a full coverage foundation. I do feel like it made my skin look quite luminous too. And normally, like, I have oily skin, especially in my T-zone. So I'm kind of leery about luminous foundations, but I do feel like nowadays I'm liking them better than matte, even though I have oily skin. So I'm not doing a wear test or anything, but you know, first impression, in terms of the finish, I do really like it. However, I'm starting to notice that I feel like it's oxidizing a little bit. So let me know what you think. It's getting a little darker, but I feel like it's okay. It's okay. All right, let's move on to the next product. I don't know how this is going to work out, but this is the new, it's not new anymore, but this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I decided to pick up the shade Deep Chestnut. So this is what this looks like. Now, when this first came out, I was trying to get this off of Ulta's website for a long time. This particular shade kept being sold out. So I was actually at Target yesterday, I think, and I saw this in Target and I decided to pick it up. But when I saw it in person, it looks a little bit darker than what I thought it was gonna be. So I don't know how this is gonna work out. Like, I feel like I should have did it kind of more in the center of my hand. I feel like I'm not going to be able to use that as a brightening concealer, but maybe I can use it just to conceal under the eyes and not necessarily brighten under there. So let's see. I'm just going to start off by putting a little bit right here. I don't want to use too much of this because I don't know what the coverage is or anything like that. I like blending my under eye concealer out with a brush. This is the brush that I normally use, and I like to just pat it in place. And I always go up in the corner because I have those spots right there because of my glasses. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to use this as a brightening concealer, and I feel like this is a borderline like color corrector shade. But just to keep both sides of my face consistent, I'm gonna still blend it out. I feel like this is something that maybe I would try underneath my foundation. Like, I haven't color corrected in a long time. That's something else that I want to try and get back to and just play around with it a little bit more. But yeah, this shade, it definitely won't work for me as an under eye concealer. I mean, in terms of the coverage, I think it's okay. I only put a little bit on there, but yeah, I'm definitely not going to use this to brighten under the eye. That's disappointing, but like I said, when I saw it in person, I had a feeling that I wasn't going to be able to brighten with it, but I bought it anyway. I don't know what other shade in this concealer may work for me, and I just really wanted to try it, so I tried it. Okay, I do have another concealer that I forgot about. This is the Pretty Vulgar Undercover Concealer. We got this in BoxyCharm a little while ago, and I never tried it out because of the shade. But I feel like maybe I can go on top of that other concealer just to use this just to brighten and not necessarily conceal. This may end up being too light, so I don't know. This might go left, but let's just see. I'm gonna put just a little bit right in the corners of my eye, because as you can see, it is a very bright color. I'm gonna blend that out with the same brush. So I feel like when I'm blending it out over that e.l.f. concealer, because the e.l.f. concealer was so, not dark, but it's not brightening, I feel like this is working okay. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more and kind of like clean up this area here. Couple things before we go forward. This foundation is definitely getting darker on me. I feel like I can use it when my skin is a little tanned in the summertime, but this foundation has definitely like gotten darker as I've been wearing it. So that's number one. Number two, when I do my full face, I usually wait to do my eyebrows after I do my foundation and concealer. I put my under eye concealer on in 2 layers. So after I apply the second layer, I let it sit while I'm doing my brows, but my brows are already done because I had a Zoom meeting earlier today. So that's why I did my brows already. But I did go ahead and let this concealer sit for a minute before I went and blended it out. So now I'm just patting it in. And I feel like my under eye area is going to look a little crazy for right now, but you'll just have to wait and see what it's going to look like after I completely blend it out. And then I'm going to have to go on top of it with a sponge to like really smooth everything out. So both of these were not a good color match for me. So I feel like my under eyes are not going to look as nice as I normally like them to, but I do feel like I can still, you know, make this work. I'm gonna go back in with my sponge and I'm just going to further blend that out. And I wasn't planning on using that Pretty Vulgar concealer anyway. Like I said, I never planned on trying it because I knew it was too bright for me. But I just used it because it was sitting right there and I forgot about it. Just to keep my face balanced, I'm gonna take a little bit more of the Pretty Vulgar concealer and I'm gonna put just a dab of it on my chin and my forehead. I'm using just a little bit because this color is too light for me. But I do want the center of my face to look balanced. So like I said, my under eyes don't look how I normally like them to look, but I don't think they look all that bad. And when I go in with my setting powder, that will add some brightness too. So the setting powder isn't new. This is the Pretty Vulgar setting powder. I use this pretty much all the time. I did just purchase a new setting powder from Sephora. So I am gonna do another video probably next week testing out that new setting powder along with some other stuff. So I'm gonna take the other side of my my sponge, dab it into the powder to set my under eye. Then I'm gonna take some more of the powder on a big fluffy brush and I'm gonna use that to set the rest of my face. When I'm setting my the foundation on my forehead, I like to take some of my powder and go right over my eyebrows too, because that area of my face gets quite oily. So I'm actually not all that thrilled about my base. I feel like my foundation is a little too dark and I feel like it's running like a little orangey maybe, and then my under eye area is just not as bright as I want it to be, but it doesn't look bad. It's just not as good as it normally looks. I feel like I look kind of like dull and dead right now. But we'll see if we can fix that later. So we're gonna move on to some eyeshadow. All right, so for this product, I was excited about it when I saw it online. I really liked the swatches that I saw online. When I saw it in person, I was a little underwhelmed. But this is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Natural Oasis eyeshadow palette. I love this packaging. I think this is so cute. It's really pretty. Like, I feel like this is something that I would keep just because I like the packaging. Okay, and here is the color scheme. So I never go for shades like this. I mean, in general, this is a bit warmer than I would normally go for, but that green shade really caught my eye. But when I saw it in person, it just didn't look as vibrant to me as it did online. I will see if I can include a picture of the swatches that I saw on Ulta's website. But I'm still gonna try this green today just to see, you know, what it looks like. So I think I'm going to use that as most of the base on my lid because this is the shade that I'm most curious about. So I'm just picking this up on a shader brush and I'm just gonna pat that in the center of my lid. So I will say, even though I feel like it's not quite the same shade of green that I saw online, I feel like it looks exactly the same on my lid as it does in the pan. Like, it's the same color, but I also feel like I'm applying quite a bit of it to get it to like pop. I mean, it's like a muted color anyway, but I just feel like I'm having to go over it quite a bit. I'm sure if I use my finger, it would be more pigmented, but I feel like I shouldn't have to go over it quite this much with a brush. Doesn't look bad though. Next, I'm gonna take this shade here. I'm gonna put that on the center part of my lid, I feel like. Or I don't know, do I wanna go with that or Sandy Beach? Yeah, I'm gonna try this one on the inner part of my lid. I think I said the center, but the inner part of my lid. And then I'm just slightly letting it overlap that green. This shade is really pretty. I like this one. I feel like this is kind of hard to hold because it's so like vertical. I don't like that. Yeah, this is like weird to hold. All right, I'm picking up another brush that's a bit more loose than the one that I was just using. Now I'm gonna go in with the shade Sandy Beach, and I'm just gonna kind of loosely apply that kind of like right in the middle of these two shades. But I'm also like keeping it toward the lower part of my lid, just giving myself a little dimension right there. I kind of wish that I hadn't done that. Like this one, this shade is coming off kind of like straight up white, almost ashy. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go back. Well, let's try this. I'm just trying things out now. Because that white shade is like really white to me, I'm gonna go right on top of it with this dark shade, and maybe it won't be quite as dark because the white is so white, if that makes sense. So I'm just picking up a little tiny bit and basically just trying to tone that down just a little bit. Yeah, I just feel like this palette is just not working for me. I'm not enjoying this process right now. I'm gonna pick up that dark shade again, and I'm gonna use that right on the outer corner of the lid, and I'm just like plopping it on. Then I'm gonna like drag it into the crease a little bit. Now I'm picking up this shade over here. I'm gonna use that to buff everything out. I'm taking some more of this dark shade, putting that on the lower lash, but just on the outer corner. I'm gonna try that shade Sandy Beach and right in here to see if it looks any better. I don't know, I feel like it looks a little bit better right here in the inner corner. But when I put it like on top of those other shadows, I didn't really care for that. I am really not liking the way that this eye looks. I don't like it. I just feel like it's a whole lot going on, you know? I really want to take this off, this shade in the inner corner. I think I'm gonna take it off. All right, I took that shade off. It's really pretty, but it's just like really, I feel like it's out of place. So I'm just gonna go right on top of that area where you can see that I reapplied my eyeshadow base. Where is my brush? I'm gonna go right back on top of that area with some more of this green, and I'm just gonna have this green be all over my lid. I think that would look a lot better than all that other stuff I had going on. And then I'm just applying some more of the dark purple shade right back in this outer corner. And then just kind of buffing everything back out again. All right, I went in and cleaned all of that up. Still not crazy about it, but I think it looks a lot better like this than it did when I first started. The shadows, they just, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy that process. I don't know how I feel about this, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some bronzer. I'm gonna go back later on and finish up the eyes with some mascara and all of that. But now let's move on, please, to some bronzer. This is the Morphe Glamabronze in the shade Trailblazer. This thing is huge, first of all. That's what it looks like. I had a little bit of issues like picking out a shade online. I'm not sure. I feel like looking at this, it will work. Of course, after I bought this, I found out on Morphe's website. So I did get this from Ulta, but then I found out on Morphe's website that it comes in other shades that Ulta doesn't carry. However, I kind of feel like it's not gonna be a big deal if I don't like this, because Makeup Revolution has new bronzers coming out, and I am super excited about those. I'm gonna pop a picture of one of them up on the screen. So I kind of feel like I don't even care if I like this or not, because I'm definitely gonna get my hands on the new Makeup Revolution bronzers. But let's focus on the product at hand. So far this one, this does look nice. I feel like I can use that. I like a very subtle bronzer to the point where you can barely see it, and I feel like this one is it for me. It's really nice and subtle, but I can see it, and it did, like, if you compare the two sides of my face, I do feel like this one added some warmth to my face. Yeah, I like this. I'm very happy that I like this because I needed something to redeem this after that eyeshadow fiasco. So yeah, I really like that. Let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna switch over to a smaller brush, and then I'm also gonna use this to lightly bronze slash contour my nose. And then after I do that step, I always take whatever I use to apply my foundation, and then I just lightly dab back over the nose to soften it back out. All right, so the bronzer, very good. I really like it. Okay, so this next one I'm excited about too. This is the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Cherry Truffle 4-color blush palette. This comes in either 2 or 3 different shades, so I'll see if I can put them up on the screen for you. This one is, it's called the Chocolate Cherry one. So this is what it looks like. Now, I feel like this one is gonna be my favorite blush color, or I might be mixing these two together, but I think to start off, I'm gonna try this one here. Now, I will say that usually I prefer a blush that is a bit more on like the peachy side, I guess. But I feel like with this one, I'm gonna like it because it's reminding me of another blush that I have that's kind of similar to this, which I can't even think of the name of it, but I feel like this one is gonna be maybe like a bit more, I guess, like pink toned, but the color just kind of caught my eye. So yeah, I do like that. It's nice and subtle. I feel like this brush though, I don't like this brush. I'm gonna try like a loose brush to try and blend it out a little bit. But the color, I do really like it. It's the NYX, I think it's called the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush that I'm thinking about. But yeah, like this, I feel like it complements my skin tone really nicely. I was thinking that I could use this as a cheek highlight, but now I can tell, seeing it in person, that that's not going to work as a cheek highlighter. So I don't have a new highlighter to try today. Because we were playing around with Milani Foundation, at first I was going to try this. This is the Milani Stellar Lights Holographic Beams highlighter palette. I think I bought this like around Christmas time last year, and I never tried it out. I remember I swatched it on my hand, but I never tried it on my face. So at first I was gonna use this, but now I'm kind of intimidated. Like I feel like this is just gonna be too much for today. So I'm not gonna use a new highlighter. I'm gonna use like one of my tried and true highlighters. So I'm gonna be using the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish and Double Gleam. And if you've been with me for a while, you used to see me use this all the time. This used to be like my ride or die highlighter. So I'm gonna go in with this one for today. And it's like a very subtle, to me, natural looking highlighter. I'm also gonna use it to highlight my brow bone and just a little bit down the center of my nose. And I think just a little bit right above the brow. Yeah. I have a feeling that Milani highlighter would have just been like too much all over the place. All right, I'm going to set everything in place. This is not a new product. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte, what is this called? Rimmel Stay Matte Fix and Go Setting Spray. This is what I use all the time. Okay, so I did not use a new product for my eyeliner and mascara, so I went ahead and did those off camera. I will zoom you in really quickly so you can see the finished eye look. And like I said before, I'm still not satisfied with it, but I do think it looks a lot better than it did earlier. So we're gonna finish everything off with a new lipstick. I bought this at Christmas time last year. This is the Urban Decay Vice lipstick, and this one is in the color Ravenswood. I bought 2 of the lipsticks because they were on sale. So this is what the color looks like. The color that I actually wanted, they were out of stock, but I was so happy when I saw this. I did open it when I got it, but I never tried it on. This looks like it's gonna be a really nice nude color on me, so let's see. Yes, I like that. I feel like next time I wear this, I'll wear it with a lip liner, I feel like, but I do like it. I'm very familiar with the Vice lipsticks, how they wear, how they feel, and all of that. So I was really just kind of testing out this shade, and I do really like it. So let me know what y'all think. Be honest. All right, I'm just gonna keep my hair back because I'm tired, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to give you a wrap up of everything that I used today. So with this foundation, I can definitely get some use out of it. I will try it again. I do really like the finish. It did oxidize a little bit on me. In case you can use me as a shade reference, I wear a mix of 340 and 380 in Fenty foundation. I wear the shade Maple in Too Faced Born This Way, and I also wear the shade Mahogany in the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. And again, for this one, I got the shade 470. So it works. It's just a little tiny bit too dark for me, and it's just a little like noticeable to me, like around the mouth area, but it does work. So I'm kind of like on the fence about this one, but I feel like I can get some use out of it. Now this concealer, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I feel like the next time I try this out, I'm gonna try it out as a color corrector, because I just cannot use this as a brightening concealer, which I kind of knew that when I bought it. So I feel like the only thing that I can use this for is to like color correct under my eyes, like underneath my foundation. But in terms of the coverage and everything, I feel like it does really give you good coverage. And for that purpose, I can see why a lot of people like this. This eyeshadow palette, the packaging is nice. That's about all I can say. I mean, I just did not enjoy playing with this palette. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. This Morphe bronzer, I really liked it. I think it looks really nice on my skin, but like I said, I am still going to try those new Makeup Revolution ones, because I think that they look a bit more exciting than this one. But I do really like this one, and I'm glad I like it because it's so big. It's going to take me a long time to get through that. And then the Chocolate Cherry Truffle palette by BH Cosmetics. I do like the blush color. It's a bit more like reddish pink than I normally go for, but I do like it. Like I said, they come in like 3 or 4 other different color schemes. So I will, ooh, and they smell nice too. I didn't realize that the first time I opened it. They smell good. Wow. But anyway, yeah, I did like this one too. And the only other new thing was the lipstick, right? So yeah, like I said, I'm very familiar with Urban Decay lipsticks. I was just playing around with the color, and I love this color. I really like this color. I think I'm gonna be using this lipstick quite a bit. So anyway, that is everything that I went through today, right? This video was like a pain a pain to get through, but I feel like that's the purpose of doing these types of videos, just to play around with makeup and see what works and what doesn't. So let me know what y'all think about the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any of these products, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see y'all back for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.